I would like to thank all of you for joining us for the first of our attorney percentage of practice time for criminal, juvenile, and family protection representation reporting training sessions. We have a couple of housekeeping items before we start the training. We're going to walk through the screen so you'll see exactly what you'll be seeing as you go through to make your reports. This year, the training will, or the actual data entry will open on October 1st. Because we are doing a total update on our website, we still have some fine tuning and it will be a little bit delayed rather than starting in mid-September like we have in past years. But we will send a notice out to everyone. If you have questions going through, please look down on the ribbon at the bottom of your screen and click the Q&A button and fill them in. We want to be sure that we answer everybody's questions. We'll also be sure that we answer the questions both in the Q&A and discussing them so that everyone has the information and it's available in the future if people are watching the recording of this. With that, I think we've got just about everybody. Again, I would like to welcome you to our training on attorney percentage of practice time reporting. My name is Bill Cox. I'm TIDC's Director of Public Defense Improvement. We've got Dr. Sarah Gamble, our Research Director, with us, and Mr. Joel Lawrence, who's our Senior Policy Analyst on the policy team. So with that, let me share screen and start going through what you're going to be seeing. Once we have everything live, we will send a notice out to all of our usual contacts, including if you've shared an email address with us in the past, to attorneys who've made prior reports. It will take you straight to the reporting screen. When you start reporting and you click in, you may see the landing page for our data portal, which gives you an option to report for indigent defense expenditure reports, the county indigent defense plans, which are done every 2 years, and then what you're looking for, the attorney practice time report. And once you get there, you're going to click on go, and it will take you straight into the practice time report. As you look at the screen, you've got a description of the due dates for the reports. As many of you who've done this before know, the Texas legislature requires all attorneys who receive appointments in either criminal cases, juvenile delinquency cases, or family protection representation cases to report the percentage of their practice time by county spent on those appointed cases between October 1st and October 15th of the next fiscal year. So when you go in after the 1st of October this year to report, you'll be reporting on your appointed cases from October 1st of 2023 through September 30th of September 24. You also have the definitions of each type. For criminal and juvenile, it's appointed cases, and the requirement for that comes out of Article 2604J4 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. For family representation or child protection cases, the same requirements are there, except they come from Section 107.0042 of the Texas Family Code. One item, if you are in an office that has recent graduates practicing under a supervised practice card, what we used to call student bar cards, you do not have to report appointed work done under that practice card. So when you get down here and you're ready to enter your time, it's as easy as it's always been. Just enter your bar number and then click the submit button. And then it's going to ask you if it's got the right attorney. It will display the attorney's name, the date the attorney was licensed, and ask you if it's correct or not. If for some reason the information is not correct, you've mistyped the number on the bar license, you can click no, hit continue, and it'll take you right back so that you can enter your time. And I'm going to put in just a fictitious bar number here so that we'll get a clear screen and you can see all of the information. In this case, there was nothing there, so we're just going to go ahead and say yes. And then you're going to get to the reporting screen. When you're reporting, you're going to be entering your information for every county in which you practice cases. And for every county in which you've had appointed cases. To do that, just select Add County Row. They'll give you a pull down, and you can select the county. So let's say it was Bastrop. We'll add another row for Collin, and let's add one more row for oops, I meant to get Ellis instead of ERAS. I could either go back and pull down and get Ellis, or if I selected a county that I didn't need and it's too late, I could just hit the X and that entire row will go away. Now, as you're entering your practice time, it's important to remember this is not the percentage of time in that county, but the percentage of your total practice time for criminal, the percentage of your total practice time for juvenile, and the percentage of your total practice time for family rep in each county. The total amount of everything you put here will appear at the bottom, where it's currently 0 since we have none. Let's say that I had 10% of my work on appointed criminal cases in Bastrop, and I didn't do any juvenile, but I did 20% on family protection representation. My total reported is now at 30%, meaning 70% of my practice time was on non-appointed work. Now let's add my time for Colin, and let's say I had 30% on appointed criminal and 15% on juvenile, and let's say 2% on family rep. We're now at 77% of total appointed time reported and 23% other practice time. If you enter something that totals more than 100%, you'll get an error. So let's say instead of 2%, I'd put 30% here on the column appointed family protection representation. It's going to tell me that I've reported 105%. While we'd all love to find that extra time in our days, weeks, and years, you can't report more than 100% because that's all there is. So you'll get an error from the system telling you your total exceeds 100%. You've listed 105 and you're over by 5%. Please adjust your practices so that your appointed practice time and your non-appointed practice time total to 100%. So let's correct that back to 3%. And I've got my information correct. And then it asked me, how did I calculate this? Did I look at my time records? Did I do it by case counts? Just these are the percentage of my cases. Was it a combination? Or did I use some other method? And if I use another method, then describe what that was. In this case, I did it just based on my case counts, and I'm going to hit next. And we seem to have had an error, so let's go back and try this again and see if it'll let us get there.
So we have a question here. I don't know if Bill can see it or everyone else. Does appellate criminal get reported under criminal defense? Bill?
And yes, appellate criminal will be included on appointed criminal defense. In fact, all of your appellate, whether it's criminal, juvenile delinquency, or family representation, would fall under that overall category. And let's see if it will get here now and let me need to add a county row, and let's select them. This time we'll do Bell and say 20% and 15% juvenile and 10% family representation. And let's say B.
Bill, so what, I've got a message. You need to use a real bar number.
So
That
let's
was the
go
cause
back.
of everything.
All righty. And actually, at this point, we can make it even easier because we've done testing. Let's just go ahead and use my bar number on it. And again, we'll select some counties. This time we'll be at B with 25% and 10% juvenile and 5% family rep. And they'll add one more for Bear, and looks like it. There we go. And Bear at 10% and 15% and 30%. And we're still add up time records and next. Now it's to get, once you get through that without the error, it gives you a summary again, showing the attorney for whom you are entering the information, the counties listed, the percentages of practice time for adult, juvenile, and family protection representation, the total time that these add up to, the non-appointed practice time that you use time records, and then you can either go back to make corrections or hit submit. Once you hit submit, if you want to have a copy of it for your records, you can click download submission. And I don't know if it's going to show on the screen there for you, but it will download straight into your downloads folder, and you'll have a file named attorney-practice-time PDF that's an Acrobat file, which shows you exactly what you just submitted. You will get one more question on this once we have the site fully functional, which is giving you the email address that you've given us in the past to send updates to, and asking you to confirm if that is still the best email address for you, so that we can continue to give you new updates. We have a couple of questions in the chat. One of those is, can we get copies for previous years submitted? Currently, there's not an online option to do previous years. If you have a need for it, reach out to me, reach out to Joel. My email is wcox@tidc.texas.gov, and we will see if we're able to access those to get you prior numbers you entered. We had another question from Steve Green about the address for the website. The address will be our data website. However, at this point, it is not active, so we are not putting it out in the training. When we send the notice that it is live, we will also include the link in that, so you can click on it and go straight to the website to make your reports. Joel, is there anything else that you could think of we need to touch on while I've still got the site up?
Yes. So you have that edit submission button.
Excellent point.
What we are going to do, the auditors and treasurers of all the counties, they submit an expense report, and it will list all the attorneys that they've paid for last year. If, for instance, Bill had practiced in Kamal County and had been paid for a case, and maybe he just forgot, oh, it's just one case, I didn't really do any work, then that county may call Bill and say, hey, you never entered your practice time report, and you'll have to go back and edit it. We will do 2 of these, probably one notification to the county in early November and one in early December. And so there's a good chance that over the holidays, you may get a call if you missed one of your counties.
And then we had another question about what good does the reporting do? And there are a number of things. One is it's mandated by the legislature. If you are a practicing attorney in Texas, you get appointed cases, they require it. More importantly, it helps counties to see what the number of attorneys they have taking appointed cases are. Do they need to look at their wheels, look at expanding them, look at providing additional resources? It also helps us when we support counties and when we advocate with the legislature. We were asked by the legislature in the last session to do a study of public defense in rural areas. And these reports, along with the reporting Joel was just talking about that come from auditors, help to show, for us to show the legislature why we need additional state funding to support counties, to support our grant programs to counties, and also for programs we're working on to try to support new attorneys coming to underserved areas to grow the appointed counsel bench, where in a lot of areas it is shrinking significantly. And we've heard from, frankly, appointed counsel, from courts, from just about everybody in the system, that they really need more lawyers there to serve the people who need appointed counsel.
I think it very much highlights how little most appointed attorneys are paid. There's a lot of attorneys that they may make $50,000 on appointments, but it might be 75% of their practice time. And that's no way to run a business. So I think it can be very helpful for attorneys. You just have to find a way to use those numbers.
Do we have any other questions? Anything else we can answer for you? We'll give it a few minutes. Let me go back, and again, I'm going to go back through the site. Let me share screen again just to do one more walkthrough, and hopefully we can do it without having any issues this time. Um, but again, you'll see the landing page. You're looking for the attorney practice time report. Click on the Go button, enter your bar number, and then submit the bar number. We've got that this is the prime record tester. That's correct. We're going to put in our information. We're going to start adding rows. We'll pick our counties, and this time, let's say it's Bandera and Blanco. Then enter the percentage of time you spent on each type of appointed cases of your total practice time. And so in Bandera, we have, let's say, 20% on adult criminal, 10% on juvenile delinquency, and 10% on family rep. And then in Blanco, we had 10% on adult criminal, 5% on juvenile, and 10% on family rep. We did this by case counts. That says that 65% of the total practice time was on appointed work for those three areas, which again, going back to our other question, includes appellate appointments. 35% was on other non-appointed practice time. Click next. You have the summary again with the bar number, the attorney's name, date licensed. If a previous report was submitted this year, the date of it. Also, we will leave the report so you can go in and update those reports, as Joel was talking about. If you receive information back from your county or from maybe a county you don't do a lot of work in, that you did some work very early in the fiscal year and may not remember. Is the current TIDC website still going to be active for getting information on ID plans? Yes, it is. Our reporting site is staying the same. We are just not activating the area dealing with attorney percentage of practice reporting until we get to October 1st, when everything's ready, at which point the programming will move over to the active site. We will unlock it and open it for reporting. And then again, everything's correct. Hit submit. If you want to, you can download the submission, and there you see the submission. And then I'm going to change the screen share just so you can see what that looks like on the download. Share. And then here is an example of the Acrobat file that you would download. It again has the bar number, the name, the license date, when the last submission was, the percentages, and then the totals. With that, do we have any other questions? Anything else that we can clarify or provide more information on? Okay, hearing none, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. We will have we'll have actually a family rep training for family representation, indigent defense expenditure reports reporting tomorrow. We will have another percentage of practice time training, and also criminal, juvenile, and family rep in 2 weeks. Please be sure to look at TIDC's website, tidc.texas.gov. We will post all of our trainings there. We will also post on the website, as well as sending out an email notice when the attorney percentage of practice site is open.
And there's one more question.
And
Can the PDF have some type of header?
And if you would include for us in that what type of header that you were looking for on it, it would help us to get back with the programmers.
Yeah, maybe something that just says TIDC report, attorney practice time report, just so they know that the attorney didn't make it up. Some counties want you to provide proof of this. So Maybe that would be good.
And we could certainly look into getting a logo on it and make it clear that's TIDC branded. Thank you again. We appreciate everybody joining us. Again, if you have anything you'd like to get with us on, please feel free to reach out. We are here to answer your questions, and we will again have another round of trainings in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much.